Hello, everybody. Welcome into Brainstorm Brewery. It is another very special episode, and this time for us, because we can see each other. We leveled up, everybody.
Hello. Does it mean
I
you
can
said
see
hello
Jason in
to
full,
DJ's face?
I can see Jason in like full 240p. I can see every pixel of that man's face.
That's right. We have leveled up.
Did you say hello 3 times because you were saying hello to your own face? Is that what happened?
No, Jason. It was once to you, once to DJ, and once to all of our guests out there listening, all of our cherished listeners who are joining us today as our guests on this journey through the podcast. So I got to say, it's very nice to be able to see the beer Jason is drinking and not just imagine it this time. It's nice to see the little jiggly puffs that seem to be swarming through DJ's office there, a little bit like tribbles. Back to the podcast, everybody. You might have missed some after hours there, but they'll be worth it, where we talked briefly about how the crew of the Starship Enterprise are ecological terrorists. So if you want to hear that, you can hear it on our after hours. So let's jump into the podcast. Welcome in, everybody. Like we said before we got derailed there, we could see each other this week, and that's pretty cool.
You derailed us.
We have got a lot to talk about. We've got
Don't use passive voice.
Segment.
We got derailed. We didn't get to. You derailed us. We know who derailed us.
We were derailed.
Now I'm derailing us.
I mean, both of those can be true. It's like a square and rectangle situation. We got
derailment
derailed,
happened.
and also Corbin derailed us.
Yeah, derailment happened. That's all.
Sometimes it does no good to point fingers and talk about who derailed who.
Look, we're all trying to find the guy who did this.
You know what we should talk about, though?
Trying to find the guy who derailed us.
I blame Craig. All right, derailment or not, nothing can stop us from doing sudden substitution. Dun, dun, dun. There's a song. Wait, we had an email about a song.
We had a YouTube comment about a song. And Jason's going to sing the jingle. Jason's
bring up the YouTube comment so I can try to put it to music.
Let's hear it.
Me. Whoa! I gotta do my vocal skills.
This is so much better with video.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather. All right, let's do it.
All right, this came to us. This came to us from who, DJ?
This came to us from Alan Colson
on
Alan. YouTube. So if you send YouTube comments or suggestions, we will see them and we will use them.
So Alan writes to us, "Hey, if you still need a song for a sudden substitution segment, maybe this will work." And he says in a parenthetical, "Sing it like the stereotypical radio jingle from the 1940s, as if the three of us know what that means."
I mean, as if we were going to do it any other way, honestly.
I'm going to take a crack at this. You want to finish your new deck without blowing your paycheck? We got the solution. It's sudden substitution. Jazz hands.
That was great.
That's good. That was A tier. That was good. We're going to use that.
Thank you for that, Jason. Now on to the segment, sudden substitution.
Yeah, not Alan. Thank you, Jason.
For singing it. Thank you, Alan, for the email.
Suck it, guy. You don't even remember his last name, do you? You forgot his last name already.
So the card this week we are talking about is Gilded Drake. This card somehow has climbed up to $200, which is insane to me. I remember when this was $50, and that felt like it was crazy, but hey, you could use it to steal an Emrakul off of a show and tell, but now it's $200. That's what the reserve list will do, and that is why we have some budget options if you are looking to steal your opponent's creatures in Commander. Jason, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
I got a creature that recently went from trash to treasure when it spiked up briefly as a result of Maricel the Pretender. This is Dominating Lizard, which donated its Steal a Creature ability to Maricel, allowing him to tap for 1 colorless and 2 blue to gain control of a creature. Now, Dominating Lizard is a creature. It's a 1/1, but it becomes an enchantment that enchants the chosen creature. And you can pay a blue for the Lizard to fall right back off if the creature dies. So
it's a pretty nutty card.
So it's reusable, you know?
Yeah.
You can steal any creature you can target. You can gain control of it as long as the Licit isn't dead, and you can pay a mana to pop the Licit back off, so it avoids any sort of target or removal on the creature you stole. So Dominating Licit was good before Marisol, but Marisol made it great. So you're not going to find these in bulk per se, but you will get these for a couple of bucks. It's significantly cheaper than Gilded Drake.
Yes.
And in a lot of situations, this has a little bit more versatility.
By a factor of 100 or so, something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll follow up in the same vein here. 4 mana, 2/2 flyer. It's a fairy wizard, Sower of Temptation.
This used to be like a $20 card.
It
Now
did.
It's a 25-cent card.
It did. It very, very much was a power back in the day. It was a card that going ever back all the way back to standard when you could play this in your fairy deck. Sower of Temptation has been sealing people's creatures. Now, of course, you lose the Sower, you lose the creature, but that's okay. You're usually going to get something good along the way, and that is why this card was
because it's a like you can just bring it back with any number of various.
Well, it conveniently has 2 power, which comes back with Revel Arc, which is a card you'll see it paired with a lot. But yeah, this card was once $27. However, it's now $3 for a Sower of Temptation, which is many times cheaper than a Gilded Drake.
There was probably a time when Gilded Drake and Sower were the same price, right? Like in 2008-ish. Like we don't have data, right? But it's reasonable.
It is possible. Yeah. Definitely possible. All right, DJ, what do you got?
I have an enchant land that I bet 90% of the people listening to this cast have never heard of. And that is Chamber of Manipulation. This is an uncommon from Odyssey. It's a 4-mana enchant land. Enchanted land has tap, discard a card, gain control of target creature till end of turn. This was basically true bulk until Thassid Deep Dwelling came out and Theros Beyond Death, which let you just blink the creature you steal and keep it forever. But the card's valuable in other decks that aren't that. It's a very powerful political tool. You just having an on-board instant speed mind control where a discard outlet isn't always a bad thing. Yeah. It can just be very powerful and political and just manipulate the game.
Keeps people from comboing you off too.
Yeah, do you want to go into combat with your giant creature that doesn't have hexproof? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not gonna attack me? Yeah, go ahead, go into combat. Yeah. So this is a very sneaky way to steal creatures because it's just a card that people have forgotten about, and I think if you play it and activate it once, people will stop forgetting about it. And it's a very powerful political tool. That's $1. So
it is $1.
Chamber of Manipulation, try it out. It's from Odyssey. It's never been reprinted.
All right, there you go.
And if you have never heard of Chamber of Manipulation, that's just a way of telling me that you don't read my articles on Cool Stuff Inc., where I advocate for this card constantly. Another card, since we mentioned all blue cards, I think an honorable mention is something that can slide into any deck, and that's Helm of Possession. You do have to sacrifice a creature to turn on the Helm and grab something, but you keep it as long as you don't untap the Helm. It goes in any color deck. And in a lot of decks, like you want a sack outlet, or you just have like tokens, trading a token for their best creature, stealing something pro blue with your Helm. It's Vedalken Shackles for any color. So I think Helm of Possession is wildly underplayed. So, Gilded Drake is good in situations where like bringing a creature back from the grave, blinking a creature, all those sort of things is great. That's why Gilded Drake, is worth the money it's worth, because it was, great with show and tell and stuff like that. But on top of that, like, if you don't want a creature-based option, you have a lot of options like at Artifact, and Helm of Possession doesn't require you to play a ton of islands the way Shackles does. So if you want a completely non-blue option, I think more people should be playing Helm of Possession, because now that you can't like O-ring their commander, the best way to get them off of their commander is just steal it from them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, moving right along then, let's do everyone's favorite game that I'm very good at and DJ is very bad at. It's Breaking Bulk.
What?
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
What sort of history is this?
What? This was the truthful history. I've never
revised. All right,
well,
let me redeem myself then. Okay. I have a black Jumpstart card that is only in Jumpstart. Go.
I don't know what's in Jumpstart, DJ. What's the rarity of this card? What's the rarity?
the rarity in Jumpstart isn't really a thing because of the way.
Well,
the pack
it helps us
distribution-
narrow down the card, doesn't it?
It's an insert card.
Is it I'm trying to remember what's in this. Is it the Phyrexian thing? The
what?
Liliana one? Is it the what is it?
It's the Phyrexian theme card.
What is the Phyrexian theme card for those who don't know?
So every pack of Jumpstart is a theme. It's based on a theme, right? Like you open a pack of Jumpstart and it's like, oh, I got a lot of rogues, or oh, I got a lot of skeletons or zombies or Chandra stuff or fireballs or beasts or what have you. And every pack also has a theme card.
Yeah.
And those theme cards are akin to the guild tokens from the Dragon's Base pre-release, if you remember those. They're little token cards that they have just the guild symbol on them.
Got a nice piece of art on it too. This card does Phyrexian
because
Ranger.
they're the size and shape and look like a magic card. People will like put them on the front of their binders. People will use them as like dividers in their deck box. There is demand for those because of just how like
really
niche and unique they are. And the Phyrexian theme token is one of the more popular theme tokens from Jumpstart, obviously because Phyrexian is a pretty wide birth of history and magic. And if you're opening packs of Jumpstart, which if you are, congratulations, because they kind of don't exist. Right? And that's one of the reasons why this is so valuable. Like even just the basic lands from Jumpstart are incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
Like the theme basic lands, you have to pay a lot of money if you want to get them in bulk. There's very few sellers that have them in mass. And the theme cards kind of follow the same vein where like I think that the supply will increase in the near future as supply chains and distribution finally get going again with this set. But for the time being, and I think for the long term too, like these theme cards, you want to hold on to them. You don't want to just toss them with the basic land.
Speaking of basic lands and Jumpstart, the Phyrexian Swamp, that's $1 billion. What's going to happen with that? What do you think happens with this card?
I mean, I just said what I think happens with Jumpstart for.
Well, I mean, this was the biggest. Like, this is the biggest one. It's like, I mean, what I'm saying is this? It's really cool, but it's a normal frame land. Do we think you're ever going to sit across from somebody playing this?
Once in a while. But I mean, so the thing with basic lands is they always come out with more.
Right.
There's always some shiny new toy that was in
exactly
front of you. And so that's the other reason I think the Phyrexian basic it'll always be worth money, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like your ability to sell them will fade as shiny new basics come out every 2 months.
Yeah, that's exactly how that works. Yep. All right. I have a Jumpstart reprint at Uncommon that was originally in Magic 2012. Green
Uncommon from Magic.
Green
2012.
Uncommon from Magic 2012, reprinted twice, most recently in Jumpstart. The other set was Commander 2020. Does that help?
Unfortunately, not really, because that's the set that I haven't been able to buy.
So it was originally in a Commander set.
It said Core Set 2012 or Core Set 2012.
Yes, originally in Core Set 2012, repeated in Commander 2020 in Jumpstart.
Zendikaar's
Garruk's pack leader.
What, DJ?
Garruk's pack leader.
No. I think you have the right set though. I think that started in 2012. Because I remember drafting this card alongside Garruk's pack leader, and it being really powerful. Because are you giving up?
Dawn Treader Elk?
Nope.
Garruk's companion?
Nope.
Hunter's Insight?
Yep.
Okay.
Finally got there. Yeah, Hunter's Insight was over $1, and now it's got hit with 2 reprints, so it's still 50 cents, and this is going to be a pick again. So it's a 3-mana green instant. Choose target creature you control. Whenever that creature does combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards.
Yeah, this was one of the first times they experimented with text that said planeswalker on it.
Yes, and it's an effect that I think Hunter's Prowess is one of the other ones that's sort of similar to Hunter's Insight. In fact, it's probably the direct sort of descendant of it if you look at their designs that way. But yeah, Hunter's Insight, still worth picking. And if you're into Commander 2020 or Jumpstart, you're probably going to come across a few of these. So go ahead and grab them.
I have.
All right, Jason, go ahead. What do you got?
I was going. You cut me off.
All right, Jason, go ahead. What do you got?
Mm-hmm. JJ, leave that awkward shit
I can
in.
do this. I can do this all day. Hey, Jason, why don't you
My-
go ahead and
my
tell
pick-
everybody what your card is?
So my pick is... Oh, you didn't step on it that time. See, the one time I wanted you to do it, you didn't do it. You disappointment.
Just always one step ahead of you.
I have a Mercadian Masks uncommon artifact. It is worth more than on the buy list than some of the rares in that set. Quite
Does
a
it
few
end-
playable rares.
Does it end with of Ramos?
Those are rare, and this is worth more than.
Oh, you're
all
right.
the
They
of
are
Ramos
rare. I
artifacts.
forgot about those. Because
Yeah.
I had those in my bulk rare cube.
That
you're
was
right.
the foil rare. My parents got me a booster box of Mercadian Mask to split with my brother. Our foil rare in that box was Eye of Ramos, and we were like,
Nice.
"Huh, pretty sure we're shooting ports in this set." But okay.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot those.
It's
Those were in my
uncommon.
bulk rare cube forever ago.
It's worth more than all the Ramos artifacts.
So uncommon artifact.
Uncommon
from
artifact.
Masks.
I do not know Mercadian Masks well. That's for
Is
sure.
it the?
Is it
No.
the rack, like the opposite of the rack? It's like the vice or whatever.
what?
No,
did you give us
those
a color?
were not from Mercadian Masks. Those are from that block, but they were not from that set.
Did you give us a color, Jason?
He said
And
artifact.
those are rare too.
Artifact.
It was, what were you thinking? Leashling and Weisling and Rackling, or
Maybe, I
or
don't
were you
know.
thinking Iron Maiden and Wheel of Torture?
I don't know what I'm.
Did they have a Skyship Weatherlight in that set?
No,
Skyship Weatherlight was rare, and
What-
that was
Plane Shift,
from-
I think.
yeah, that was plane shift.
I couldn't.
I'm
I have no
thinking
clue.
I might
You
get
were-
it when you. I might know it when you say it, but I'm not gonna guess.
Corbin
it.
has never heard of this card, and DJ, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I picked that." The
Yeah,
card
probably.
is Credit Voucher.
I've never heard of that card.
Really?
It's a 2-mana artifact. You pay 2 and sack
Oh.
it. Shuffle any number of cards from your hand into your library, then draw that many cards. Powerful
I'm looking
effect.
at it. And, hold up. I'm looking at this one now. This has some interesting art on it.
I've actually never picked this.
Huh.
Because it
When
didn't
did you
it didn't
pick
spike
this?
until after War of the Spark, and I didn't know this spike, so I've actually never picked this before. This is new to me.
This is a great card, and it's
Guess Jason was the one who was good at the game this week.
hey man,
Credit
I'll stump
voucher,
you.
huh?
yep, Credit Voucher is legit. It's a pick. It's a pick.
That's kind of
The
cool.
end.
That's kind of cool.
So what is this for? Is this what is this for?
It's for Magic the Gathering.
Well,
If think about it, if
I
Scroll Rack
assume
is
you have the EDH trick page open.
no, if Scroll Rack is good, Credit Voucher would also be good. In fact, almost even better.
What? This isn't. It doesn't put them on top. It shuffles them in.
Exactly.
Like
That's
Sometimes
worse.
I just-
you go to EDH,
look-
you'll be even more confused when you go to EDH Rec. Like
I am.
Okay.
I
is
see
playing this.
Saya, Joyra, Niv Mizzet. I kind of get, but Niv Mizzet's full as it is. You can't fit this in there.
Like Locust God is barely playing this. Like the number one deck playing this is Jwaira, which makes sense, but then from there it's not played much. So this must
Weird
be
card.
a 60 card casual card. This was not an
Well-
EDH pick this week. It probably threw you guys.
I mean, maybe it's also just really old, right? So it doesn't take much to push the price a little bit. Yeah, that's
My
crazy. I didn't know about that one.
closest guess is that somebody did like a budget Commander series with like Niv Mizzet or something,
Yeah, probably.
and this was
something.
under a quarter, so it got in.
All right. Well, the other thing that is the big news this week, and I'm sure there will be more of it when you listen to this episode, but the Commander Legends spoilers are starting to come out, and Commander Legends is one of the right on the heels of Jumpstart. Actually, it's another really unique product, just in the sense that we've never had something like this before. Jason, do you want to go ahead and kind of explain to people just what the heck we're looking at with these Commander Legends spoilers?
Well, we've only seen a few cards. Commander Legends is going to be a set where there are commanders and there are legends, and you are going to booster draft. So the it's
That's
designed
a
where
new
you-
one to me.
So you booster draft EDH, you build a 60 card deck because it's limited. You're going to take
Yep.
2 picks out of every pack. You are going to have commanders. There are going to be commanders. This set is full of commanders. Like you're like, I didn't get a commanders. Like you passed 29 commanders. And even if you screw up so bad that you're like, I took 2 picks out of every pack, every one of my 20 card packs. I took 2 picks and I still didn't get a commander. They're like, here, you can have this weird Seb McKinnon nightmare monster that looks like from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, that's
Mr.
right.
Skeletal. So at the very, like, you go over the boost, the basic land station, they're like, here you go, here's your pipers. So you draft the set and it's full of legends, and then you just place some EDH, and it's going to be real weird. Gavin's took 6 years to make this set, which is real weird. Partners are back, monocolor partners. Like, the thing about them, like, I told Wizards 6 years ago I wanted monocolor partners. Gavin's like, I listened and I put them in the next set, and then it took 6 years to get that made. We did it. There are going to be so many monocolored commanders that the number of cards just with monocolor partner commanders,
Right.
that the number of combinations of 2 cards with the partner ability on them is going to be over 1,500. EDH Rec is going to have to make a page for each one of those that people register a deck for, so that'll be fun. That'll be a month-long project. So, Commander Legends is going to give us something like 70 new legends, a bunch of new monocolored partners. It's going to give us a ton of reprints. It's going to be booster draftable. It's going to be the most nuts ever. It's like Conspiracy and Battle Bond had a baby, and that baby cut your face with a screwdriver while you were sleeping and stole your wallet.
Okay.
You'd be just exactly like that thing.
And that baby looks like the Seb McKinnon monster.
You know, when we were talking...
Daddy, you didn't come to my recorder recital. I was playing the recorder and you weren't there.
You know, earlier
I sharpened my recorder, Daddy.
When we were streaming Fall Guys earlier and I talked about different dystopias I think about often, I have to say that's not one of them. I hadn't really considered that one yet. Well, I mean, we've seen very few cards out of Commander Legends at this point.
We have seen the Baron Sengir, which requires you to track everyone's life total at the beginning of every turn. Because if you kill them, you're like, how many life did you have at the beginning of the turn before you got attacked and a bunch of shit happened? Oh, you don't remember? Oh, well, this card sucks. Yeah. So it's just a new thing to keep track of because they just made a card where that happens. So
hashtag get rid of commander damage.
It's going to be an interesting format, that's for sure. I'll say that. I am excited to give it a shot, I guess. We'll see. I have to say, Commander Partners is not one of my favorite mechanics ever. I think that the partner mechanic tends to just allow people to play mishmash of good stuff cards, which is, to me, a lot less fun than basically Commander decks having themes. And generally, in my opinion, right, the more narrow the theme of your deck, sort of the more you would be able to sort of express yourself in that and not just be able to... you can play what you want and not just have to play the most powerful cards. And I feel like when people start playing these 3-4 color partner commander decks, it's just the best cards in each color, and they just use the partner because it's the right colors. And now we're opening the door to a lot more of that, for whatever that's worth. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I think the people who would play generic partner commanders in order to play generic competitive tier decks are going to do that without the existence of partners. Well,
and the reality is Thrasios and Tymna is probably as basically as disgusting as that type of deck can get already. So in that sense, it's almost like, can it really be worse than Thrasios and Tymna? So, those kind of form the one or the other end of a bunch of different partner decks that end up being very good. So yeah, I mean, that is the other way to look at this. That's
actually like a really good, interesting point. Not even related to the power level or the format or anything, but just bringing it back to finance. Does seeing partners here mean that just seeing new partners here mean that we don't see reprint partners? Like, does that mean that we don't see, because Thrasios is like, what, $60?
It is expensive.
Tymna's $50 or something like that. Like, do these new partners mean that we don't, because I was expecting, like, oh yeah, we get Thrasios and Commander Legends, that's obvious, but like,
we still could.
How much room do we have for those?
I haven't seen a number crunch on it. I don't know that we really have enough to get there.
What do you guys think, though? Like,
I would think that we would get reprints of them in this set. I don't know why we wouldn't, right? If they were to do partners but not reprint $50 partners, they've done something wrong.
But
I
Thrasios...
think they've done something wrong because they weren't $50.
I was going to say,
you're right about that.
again,
You're right.
Gavin designed this set over 6 years, and in July of 2019, Thrasios was 20.
I mean, but a $20 card is exactly the kind of card they can and should and need to reprint.
And have
right?
not.
Well,
I would argue it's actually more likely to be reprinted at $20 than $50. I don't know if that's true, actually, but it's
Training
possible.
Grounds is Training Grounds at $15 is the kind of card they know they need to reprint. Training Grounds at $20 is the kind of card that at $25 Training Grounds could still conceivably go into pre-con. At $30 Training Grounds just is in desperate need of a reprint, and Wizards know that. Look, Training Grounds is $35 right now. If they don't reprint it, I'm literally going to quit Magic. I'm sick of hearing stuff isn't for me. I will not buy another Secret Invasion until you reprint Trading Grounds at $40. I can't play to my stupid Sliver Queen deck. This sucks. I hate Magic.
All right, I'm back to Magic 2 weeks later, and I'm ready to buy my $70 Trading Grounds.
Yeah.
I just go back and read all my old articles. I'm like, look, Phyrexian Arena or Phyrexian Altar is a shoe-in for the green-black Marin deck. Like,
I've been saying the same about Cabal Coffers for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Cabal Coffers has been Cabal Coffers was like, oh yeah, there's no way. $30, that's pushing it.
It was exquisite blood for me. That was the card that I just kept thinking, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. It's the more expensive of the two.
I can't buy them.
It's got to happen.
I cannot buy a Training Grounds at $25. It's getting reprinted in 6 months. I'm going to get stuck with all of them.
Yeah. Look, all of that is true, and I still think it would be ridiculous if they put all new partners into this set and don't reprint the $20, the ones that were $20. Because now Thrasios is $50, and that is stupid. So we'll see what happens, I guess. It's an interesting set.
Ready for some ridicule.
I will say that I am ecstatic about the other half of the Battle Bond lands.
Because here's why Thrasios and Timna and all the other $50 ones are definitely 100% not in the set, because they said they didn't want the new partners to be those cards. They're like, we were testing them for years to make sure we don't accidentally make another Thrasios. So they're not going to say, oh, we don't want these cards to be Thrasios, and then like, but we will partner them with Thrasios in a draft. Eat it. There's no way. So Thrasios... I would spicy peanut.
Would you bet a peanut?
Thrasios is not in the set.
Ooh, I do not feel
that
strongly about. I do not feel that strongly about it.
Corbin,
a spicy peanut.
Spicy peanut.
Yeah,
Corbin.
I'm in.
Cool.
Why not?
Okay.
I don't know anything about these spicy peanuts, and I don't like peanuts. What if I have a peanut allergy? Will it be made worse by having a spicy one that might kill me?
No, the spice will neutralize the peanut. The spice will fight off the allergy.
What, are you going to die twice? If you have a peanut allergy, like, the spice is going to be the least of your worries. You're like, this is spicy at all. You guys are pussies. I can't swallow the milk. The milk won't go down. Corbin uses EpiPen 4 seconds into the challenge, and DJ and I held off. Corbin stuck his EpiPen right in his leg, and the rest of us are waiting the full 5 minutes like we're supposed to. Yeah, I think he'll be fine, dude.
Okay, right. Well, you know what? Then I'm in. I'm in on Thrasios being reprinted. Then it's a merfolk. I got to root for it anyways, so let's do it.
Yeah, that's a good call. And, yeah.
Peanut bet on the line. You heard it here, folks. Well, what do you guys think about Keeper of the Accord? This is the incredibly talked about card. I don't know if I'd use the word broken. It's a 3-mana. It's a 3/4 for 4 mana. It's a white human soldier. At the beginning of each opponent's instep, if they control more creatures than you, get a 1/1 token. At the beginning of each opponent's instep, if they have more lands than you, get a basic plains, put it into play, tapped, and shuffle your library.
This card's quite good. And Gavin mentioned a card I really like, which is Verge Rangers. Yeah. He's like, the jury is still out on Verge Rangers, and I bet he's basing that off of EDH rec data and things that I've shouted at him on Twitter. The jury's still out on Verge Rangers, but he said even if you aren't sure about Verge Rangers, you will see that Keeper of the Accord is the truth. They've probably played a bajillion games of this. And look, this is meant to be drafted. So imagine how good a Keeper of the Cord would be in limited.
Oh, very good and limited for sure. I want to know though.
I think this is Commander playable, but like this is 100% a Wrecking Ball in limited.
For sure. Do we think that this is a sign of things to come now, especially in my opinion after Verge Ranger? It probably is. Like, are we seeing some of the traditionally green effects moved to white? Because
I hope
this is what my
because
friends who sent me this card were like, this card is insane. This is crazy. It gives what? I was like, green has 14 cards like this, right?
Yep.
You know, like green has Oracle Mold. They have 4 different Oracle Moldias.
Oracle Moldiah doesn't care how many lands your opponent has. Oracle Moldiah is just like, you're.
That's what I'm saying. Like, green has so many cards that are better at doing that are better at the same job you're going to be using Keeper of the Accord for. So is it really a problem that white gets a broken green card? I don't think it is.
White still gets the land tax check on all of their. You still get that Knight of the White Orchid type stuff, but like that's great. Fine. White does that, so like they're just giving white tools to compete with how nuts green is, and I like that because they don't want white to, because people, as much as everyone's like Wizards don't ruin EDH, everyone had complaints, and white is boring in EDH.
I've said for years that white was the worst color and not red. People get. There was a Twitter poll. Me and Jim Casale were like, "Hey, white's the worst. Red's pretty solid. Red can kill people reasonably quickly." And everyone's like, "No, you're wrong. Red's the awful one. Red's the worst of the 5."
Yeah. Well,
Red's got a commander that like swings for 7, and then you're just like, "Oh, I have enough mana to cast 2 stupid enchantments post combat. I've got Atali. I've got Godo, who can just go get a helm of or
the host."
You know, go get the helm and just kill everybody. Like, I don't know. Like,
Wheel of Fortune, like
EDH to me.
Like every damage doubling effect, artifacts, Duretti, like red's great.
And white's sort of like, I cast Boreal Charger.
Well,
I don't know, man.
The other thing I like about this card is that, you know, we talk about white not being great in Commander, and one of the first things that came to mind for me was Smothering Tithe, because that card is legitimately great, but there's a difference to me between Smothering Tithe.
Smothering Tithe is a blue card, though.
Well, that's true. But also, you play Smothering Tithe, or a red card, you play it with wheels, right? But you play Smothering Tithe, and then everyone's like, we got to kill the Smothering Tithe, and we got to kill him. And then it's either they don't kill your Smothering Tithe, and everyone just kills you and hates you, or you win the game. But it's a very, it's very snowball-y one way or the other, right? But something like Keeper of the Cord, you play it, maybe it gets wrathed after 2 turns, right? But at that point, you've gotten value out of it. So I like that it's a card you can play in white that is very powerful if left unchecked. But even when your opponents do have an answer for it, you'll get something lasting out of it, which is not the case with, the first thing I thought of in that slot was Smothering Tithe, the ramp you for 4 mana.
This is like a Tender Shoot Dryad where you get value, but it's not a kill on sight card.
I want to ask.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I want to ask what kind of person it makes me. The first thing I thought of when I saw this card was like, okay, how do I make my entire board mana rocks and just make everyone else miserable by like balance effects and like make it
Zuran Orb.
Like you have 1 or 2 lands and I have 0, but I have 6 Thran Dynamos, so now we can like, how do we abuse this? Like,
if Keeper of the Cord was legendary, you could definitely beat on that plan. Excuse me. All right. Well, it's going to be an interesting set. I mean, basically, that's all we have to look at right now. We have some uncommon partners that probably we don't care too much about, but there is a Prosh reprint.
But it shows that they made a synergistic pair, and they're like, look, some of these are just like, this will pair with anything, but, I'm sure Halana and like Senjur would be good together, but at the same time, it's like, if you can manage to put these 2 together, they work in concert.
Right,
Halana and partner with, but it's strongly implied that they, thematically they work together, and like if you can put these 2 together, that's better than not doing it.
Yeah, it's more synergy
not quite
based
like
than
Battle
C16.
Bond, where it's like these 2 cards fetch each other, but at the same time, it's like
and it's also not C16 where it's like, what do Thrasios and Timna have in common? Well, they're good cards. Like that's what they have in common. Like
they're really broken.
We get to play the 4 best colors in EDH, idiot. Sorry, Red.
Hey.
Well,
I'm sorry, is red contained in Atraxa, the #1 commander built on EDH Rec for the past 2
Trax
years?
is not #1 based on power levels. She's based on #1s because people have dice fetishes.
Yeah, that's true. People have...
people do play Dice Factory in Modern.
They
That
just
is a
turn
real
into
thing.
Bubba Gumps like, you can build a Atraxa Infect, you can build a Atraxa Tokens, you can build a Atraxa Planeswalker.
That's a very
I don't know.
good.
I didn't have to bring up Bubba Gump. That made no sense. They just
But
wanted
you
to
know
do
what?
the
That
voice
did.
properly.
Yeah, the voice did kind of fit there. I gotta say that was solid.
Yikes.
Almost a solid.
Unnecessary.
It's almost going to be as solid as my pick of the week because it's time for
No,
that
no, no,
segment.
no.
in Ivory.
We got a variety of different strips, and we got a variety of different emails. How about that?
I guess we'll read an email. I got such a good pick, but that's all right. Let's do an email first. How about that, DJ?
Remember the part in
let's
Forrest
do-
Gump when somebody said we have a variety of different shrimps? That was me this summer. I worked at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company in the Mall of America.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on the Void Slime Champs promo? This was just reprinted in a secret. This is from AD, initials AD. Just reprinted in a secret layer product with a non-foil comic artwork, which can cap the visibility on the card for Simic, Sultai, and Teamer Commander players, as the ability to stop combos and CEDH, and it's a flexible stifle or counter to avoid most nonsense in a more casual game. Extended art foil is gorgeous and much better than that of the Adventure Time nonsense. It spiked around 2014 or 2015, but it can be had for $40 elsewhere. The regular non-foil is having a slight uptick at $7. If it misses other reprints, could this rebound its past price? I don't think so. The Champs
It's a bad disallow.
The Champs promos are very, very old, and it's hard to find people that want them, unless they're, like, mutable.
Yeah.
It was Champs. They gave 8 out per state. Like, it was legit tough to get these.
Right, but, like, people don't care anymore. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's well the thing is there's so many cards now, and if somebody has a deck that plays a Void Slime, well the reality is there's probably 30 other cards in that deck that they can spend $15 to get a really cool version of, rather than spending $40 to get this version.
compare this to, like, the Full Art Cryptic.
Yeah, I mean the price on that Void Slime has been flat for a very long time.
Right, like, it's not a card that
And
people...
I don't think people buying a new premium version of it is going to make people remember the old one, because, like, people aren't playing Void Slime because Disallow goes in more decks, and it does the same thing.
Yeah, and they keep experimenting in that space, so it's only going to be... I mean, I guess this is basically true always, but it's only going to become more diluted, because they've already printed a number of effects like that now that are starting to crowd out a Void Slime.
Also, kind words, they said, also, I listened to your podcast while delivering mail. Last week's tangent on the post office had me doubled over laughing while en route to the point. Someone passing by stopped to make sure I was okay and not physically injured. Thanks for that.
That's the best story I've ever heard.
Support the USPS, you motherfuckers!
Did I say something? Because I don't remember what it was, but I'm glad.
Save the
one of us
post
made you
office,
laugh.
you cowards. That email made me feel really nice. I support the post office. I support our postal workers, and that's really funny that
If we don't have the post office, you're
we were
not
actually
getting
that
your
funny.
Patreon reward. So I want everyone listening to this, if you're a Patreon from patreon.com/BSB and you're giving us at least $10 a month, you are getting shit if the post office goes down. I'm not going to FedEx and paying $97 to send you these handsome drinking glasses or the water bottles. And DJ's not paying $11.50 to send you a handful of tokens. But if you want that stuff, you have to save the post office. Go and buy a roll of 100 of the stamps that
Forever
are
stamps.
the forever stamps. They're first class forever. You can slap one of those on a plain white envelope and send a magic card to somebody. Ain't that great? Get 100 of those. If everybody bought a roll of 100 stamps, the post office could go for another couple weeks.
that's
And then
probably
still be
about right.
screwed later because, it'll take an act of Congress to save them.
Bryce Hansen sent us an email. Hey, Brew Crew. Bryce, the guy who's been listening since he was 12, here. I have 99% of a Legacy Elves list. I hope that 99% includes Gaia's Cradles. I'm trying to liquidate.
Yeah, no kidding.
Basically a full list, keeping my fetches. Is it worth trying to move as a lump or sell singles on Facebook?
You're not
Also,
gonna be
how
able
the...
Sorry, go ahead.
Also, how the heck do I approach selling Cradles into the reserve list, Spike? I saw DJ selling a copy a few days ago on Twitter for $3.90, with most copies on TCG well over $700. Thank you for your years of entertainment, Bryce. Second question.
You're not going to be able to sell that as a whole without the fetches.
Split the list.
Most likely.
Just split it. Like for a deck list, just split it. Like it's not. Nobody's going to pay you a premium for just a deck list with like your crusty old sleeves in a deck box. Just de-sleeve it, splice it, inventory it.
It's basically everybody who wants to buy into, say, Legacy Elves doesn't just go from, I don't have any Magic cards to, I want to buy Legacy Elves. Like, they're going to have pieces of it along the way, which means they don't need to pay you a premium to buy the whole deck from you, right? So once you accept that very few people want to buy a whole deck wholesale, especially a really pricey one like that, just all at once. In that way, it's just not really something that happens. So once you kind of accept that, it doesn't matter to a dealer whether it's in a deck box or not, right? It's not going to matter. So
also, everyone has like their own list with weird one-ofs. Like there's very few 75s.
I don't think he wants to buy a list though. I think he wants to like get max for this and like.
But same thing then, right? Split it up. You're just you're not going to be able to post it on somebody on Facebook's going to go, well, I want 80% of it, and then you're going to have that part left anyways. Just list the cards and sell them however you're going to sell them.
I mean, there's also the fact that like there's very few 75s that are identical, and people are wanting to but like there's very few people who are like, there's 5 people with Elves list, all of them are going to be different. Yeah. Everyone's got their weird one-ofs, their sideboard card they needed to yell at their friend about after round 2, like
yeah.
So like just splice it, sell it. As for how to sell Cradles, like just again sell them into the reserve list, Spike. I sold a very, very HP one for $3.90 when the HP min on TCG was like $4.30, I think, because I usually go 10% under TCG, and like I was happy with that, and I don't regret it. I made money on the card, and somebody got it.
Like they're not selling at $900. Like don't listen to people that don't know anything about finance but have a big YouTube audience. Like their whole deal is they're trying to stir up like dissent against what they call the reserve list and we call the reserved list. They're just trying to farm clicks. So like, as much as everyone's like, these are $1,100 now, it's like they are and they aren't. So
all right, well, last thing we want to do, as always, before we get out of here, it is pick of the week time. And as a reminder, all the cards we're going to talk about this week, you can pick up at our generous sponsor, channelfireball.com, the place to go for your channel needs, your Fireball needs, and your Fall Guy needs. That's right. They are hosting a Fall Guys tournament coming up that you can look into. And if you've been following us streaming on YouTube, you know that we are very bad at Fall Guys and won't be winning that tournament. But check it out. And
there was a miscommunication, and they are doing a tournament of people who watched the show The Fall Guys on CBS in the 1970s about the guy who was a stuntman. It was on right before the A-Team. It was about a guy who did stuntman shit, but extracurricularly also. He's like, I'm a stuntman all day, and then he went home, and someone's like, I need help with the thing.
Did he solve crime?
I'll do that. Because like I roll out of a car or I roll around on fire in a flame retardant suit. I'm pretty sure I could help you with your crime, lady. And then, he was the Fall Guy. That's what they called it. That was on CBS or something. I don't know. It was years before I was
born. Jason is right. The Channel Fireball tournament is definitely either about the new video game or it's about that show. It's a reunion.
Television program from the 1970s.
One of those two. So I guess you'll have to go to channelfireball.com to find out.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
All right, my pick of the week this week is Castle Garenbrig from Throne of Eldraine. So this card is about $3.50 right now, but it has kind of steadily been creeping up. And basically what I realize is Castle Garenbrig, with the ability to just simply turn 5 mana, counting itself, into 6 mana for creature spells, that's something that's very powerful, unlikely to be reprinted, unlikely to kind of be duplicated. It's kind of a unique effect, and the opportunity cost of running the castle is just so low. All you have to do is have a forest. So at $3.50, going to $4, I really like Castle Garenbrig here as a card that is definitely going to be more than $5, probably within a couple months, forever. And it's just one of those things where I don't know if it'll go up a ton. I don't I know that I predict this card to be $10 or $15 anytime soon, but it's just probably not going to be any cheaper, and it probably is going to be more in that $6, $7, $8 range. So I'm looking at Castle Garenberg this week.
I got a real pick.
Okay.
This is a card that is the 4th most played card in Core Set 2021 per EDH Rec, and the foil variant, the showcase variant. So we're talking the variant plus being foil is under $3, which I think is criminal. A card I hate and I think is stupid, but people are playing it. Teferi's Ageless Insight. I don't think this card is good, but everybody but me does. And I think it's time for me to concede that this perhaps is a card. And
it could be.
If the showcase foil is under $3, even if this isn't a card, the showcase foil shouldn't be under $3.
Yeah.
You know, I realize there are 47 different versions of this. It's like, was it the pre-release foil or the set foil or the showcase foil, the showcase non-foil or the...
Yeah,
Look,
I mean, pretty much.
Core Set 2021, they're like, we need a gimmick to sell Core Set. What do you got? What if we did a showcase? Good. What if we did foils? Good. What if we did alternate arts? Excellent. What if we did borderless? Yes. What if we did like a box topper thing? Yes. Yes to all those. Which one? All of them. We're selling Core Set 2021 during a goddamn pandemic. And everyone's like, shit.
$100 boosters. $100 booster packs being sold in the middle of a pandemic. Go Magic.
And they sold.
They sure
you can
did.
shit on the concept
sure
of selling
did.
a $100 booster pack
that's...
during a pandemic, but if it works, it wasn't a bad idea.
Okay,
You're a bad patron.
I can actually segue from that into my pick. The average demographic of the player who is able to afford Magic at this point is able to afford Magic much more than you'd expect.
Yeah.
And I mean, we saw this earlier when the first wave of stimulus checks hit the US. We saw card prices go up. And a lot of that is because Magic's demographic, for a large part, whether you like it or not, is somebody who has the capability to work from home and spend that extra income on their hobby.
Yep.
So...
And it's people who
What about their girlfriend? Kidding.
And it's people who disproportionately were not affected by the pandemic as badly because
right, exactly.
Most people who play Magic have disposable income, so you're already kind of eliminating a lot of the minimum wage type jobs across the United States, and as a result, when the pandemic hit, those are the first people who lost their jobs.
This is gonna turn classist real fast, and I'm here for it.
Well, I mean,
it's just the realities.
Magic
of the market.
players are just better than the average population. Well, that's all.
It turns out expensive hobbies tend to be played by people with disposable income, right?
Right. And so,
so yeah, go ahead, DJ.
When we see stuff like Double Masters sell out in spite of a pandemic, it is because a large portion of Magic player base is like 34-year-old white guy who can work from home on IT.
Yep. And is now not spending any money at all because they can't go to the bar,
they can't
go out, they can't do anything.
Concert.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
Everyone's got money to spend on Magic cards.
That's why Double Master stuff sold out. And that's one of the reasons.
That's why webcams and microphones sold out too.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And we saw Gaia's Cradle jump, and we saw Gilded Drake jump, and we see cards from the reserve list go up in weird financial situations like this because those people have the power to put that much money towards it. It's not it's not a shadowy cabal trying to yank up the price of Gilded Drake, because people like me and Corbin and Jason know we don't sell very many Gilded Drakes at $300.
Yeah.
So this happened in 2018 too with the whole Bitcoin thing, but
exactly
high-end cards have like these invisible strings attached to them where they have these set ratios that they work between. And what I mean by that is like, oh, it's always makes sense for 4 Underground Seas to equal this Mox. Or like it always makes sense for 4 Gaia's Cradles to equal this piece of power. Like there's this weird invisible ratio of like a person, when a card goes up in price at that price level, the person's like, oh crap, I can turn my playset of Gaia's Cradles into this piece of power. And because that balance has shifted. Because
that's exactly what happened before with fetches. People turned their fetch, when fetch lands spiked, when, probably before this last, 5 years ago.
I can turn
spike.
this place out of fetches into a refrigerator.
Well, yeah, I turned a bunch of fetches into a refrigerator.
Right.
But
no, but yeah, that's
people
exactly
realized
the
they
point.
could
It's
start
like,
turning their underground seas, or I'm sorry, their scalding tarns into underground seas, and
Yes.
they did, and it pushed up the price of underground sea. And
Yes,
then you're
exactly.
right, Bitcoin was the same thing. It
And
was a
so-
bunch of money getting dumped into the market, and here we are again.
And so that reason is why we see Plateau hitting new plateaus, for lack of a better like Plateau is at an all-time high. It's not being played more. It's not like being made less. There's not less copies out
It's
there.
being played less.
Yes.
Plateau is worth more money than when people were casting Plateau because they could play Paper Legacy.
Yes.
Well,
and
no
so
one
like
casts a plateau.
when we see Plateau go up,
That's not true. I played Zombardment.
so when we see Plateau go up, we're going to see Underground Sea go up. And when we see Underground Sea go up, my pick of the week is Power. Like, Power is going to get more expensive.
It was an
if you-
asshole pick. You were right.
Like, it's true, though. Like, it's number one, like, a pick that not many people can afford, but it's also just, like, a basic lesson in how this game works at the higher
It
end
is.
level.
It really is. Yeah.
And so, like, if you're one of those people who just got, like, an extra $1,300 or $1,500 or however 4-digit number from these weeks of unemployment and you don't have a place to put it, Power 9 is not the worst place right now.
Yeah.
Or neither is Underground. See, like, the duels and Power that haven't spiked yet will.
Yeah.
You can look
And-
at Gaia's Cradle's price, and you can look at Plateau's price, and you can look at Gilded Drake's price, and then you can match that graph up with Underground Sea and Mox Ruby and whatever you want, and, like, those will follow.
Well, if you think about it, we saw the price spikes on all of the commander cards already. And it kind of makes sense that this is the next step in that process. We saw all of the staples of commander just explode. And now we're seeing people say, well, I bought my Cyclonic Rifts and I bought this $50 card and I bought that $40 card, blah, blah. Now what do I buy? And the answer is Gaia's Cradle. And the next answer will be Underground Sea or Plateaus or whatever else. And that's sort of the reality of the market we're in.
Secret
And
layer
it could be
slime
like this for a
time.
while. It could be like this for a little bit. We've seen spikes, and we talked about it 4 months ago, and we're talking about it now, and I bet we're still talking about it 4 months from now. So, all right. Well, I think that pretty much does it for us. I'm Corbin. You can find me on the internet at Chosler on Twitter. I make videos for Cool Stuff Inc. on YouTube about Mining Modern and Punting Pioneer. I also do some articles for the Overwatch League and the Call of Duty League. If you're into those things, you can Google me and find those as well. DJ, where can people find you?
Yeah, I used to go to Magic Fest. Those were cool.
One
You can
one
find
day
me
you will again.
my name is DJ Johnson. You can find me at Twitter arguing with people who have less than 30 followers at Rose of Thorns. The second O is a 0. You can find me on TCG Player at Card Garden, or you can search the hashtag Card Garden on Twitter to find my Twitter sales. My DMs are always open if you're looking to buy or sell or trade. You can find me on Old School RuneScape. I've been playing a lot of that recently at level 3 Bulbasaur.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, like I got back into that. It's a nice little AFK way to spend 8 hours while I sort Magic cards and pay for my house that I'm hopefully buying in the next year or two.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
pay for your house playing RuneScape?
Sort of.
What are you,
like
trimming
that.
armor?
Jason, where could people find your content across the internet?
Well, if you go to @JasonEAlt on the Twitter, I have a pinned post that talks about all the various projects I work on around the internet. I write 2 articles, one for Cool Stuff Inc. and one for MTG Price. I have 2 podcasts, this one and another one called Film Hooligans. I am very online, so you can catch me on the Twitter talking random stuff, arguing with the same 30 follower people DJ argues with, but about politics this time.
Okay, great. Ringing endorsement. All right, everybody. Well, on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, as always, to our sponsor, Channel Fireball for Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week. We did it. Okay.
I'm
I
surprised
need
my
rec-
recording is only an hour and 18 minutes long. I thought it was like way more than that.
I need your guys'